Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money. Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money. Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Hello there, welcome to another fresh edition of your favorite program on television, Money Radio. On this special day, we always want to discuss the front page news headlines on national economy, a publication of Leadership Media Group. National Economy is a weekly business paper where they come up with incisive and investigation stories. This week's National Economy has the title Nigerian Workers Minimum Wage, Maximum Wage. Don't forget, my name is Winifred Ugbebo, and as usual on the program, we have an in-house analyst, Kingsley Alu. He is incidentally the editor of National Economy. Kingsley, it's a pleasure to have you on the program. How's your weekend been?
It's been, thank you.
Yes. And just like I said earlier, Nigerian workers minimum wage, maximum wage. Households battle skyrocketing cost of goods as salaries remain static. This is the leading story, headline story on national economy this week. The story is a developing one, of course. Nigerian workers minimum wage, maximum wage. Ever since the increment and fuel price hike, there has been so much controversies and hunger altogether in the land. And this is what national economy is taking the story from. Nigerian workers minimum wage, maximum wage. Households battle skyrocketing cost of goods as salaries remain static. How Nigeria can bridge infrastructure gap is another story on the leading cover today, on the headline story today. Saving poultry industry from collapse. Find out how on page 22 of National Economy. Mastering time management and energizing your success. Stories on page 13 of National Economy. Now let's zero in on the headline, the leading story on Nigerian workers minimum wage, maximum wage. Kingsley,
Yeah.
here we have a situation on our hands.
Yes.
Inflation rate.
Yes. Well, according to NBS National Bureau of Statistics, already this year, headline inflation is around 22.79% now. And the same rate, food inflation is already 25.25%. The same period.
The same period.
So what does this tell you? It tells you that this policy is already having bandwagon effect on practically everything,
Every sector
every
of the
sector of
economy.
the economy, and the workers in Nigeria are not really finding it for at the moment.
Now, Kingsley, the worrying part of it is that in a situation, we're having a situation whereby federal government keeps talking about diversification of the economy. And now, how are we going to diversify the economy when fuel price and and other products, they are for energy, they are on the increase? What is the solution? What is the way out?
For at least for now, it will appear there's no light at the end of the tunnel because government seem confused on what to do to regularly save out of this mess. Before the
government, you said, seems helpless. I agree with you on that because the government, since it came on board in May 29, it has been overturning its own policy.
Yes,
talking about these household transfer of 8,000 naira. President now came back to say, oh, I'm actually going to reevaluate it like that. So
Yeah.
it's like the president did not actually seem to think more, dwell much
It
on the
doesn't even
impact of
seem
this.
to have a full grasp of
problem.
what is going on. For instance, you want to give 12 million or 10 million households 8,000 naira for a period of 6 months. And then look at the National Assembly. You have already appropriated 70 billion for them to go and enjoy, and where people are busy.
And there was a leading story today on. There's a leading story on leadership newspaper today that you see that the timeline for money budgeted for lawmakers' cars to buy
Yes.
purchase for vehicles,
Yes.
and you discover that in this administration, 40 billion, no, 50 billion naira was actually a marked deviation from 2019, where 5.5 billion was
That tells you. That tells
was a
you.
man. You
That
see the
tells you.
gap.
That tells you the priority of government. These things doesn't reflect the fact that you need to take care of the workers. You are budgeting 40 billion naira for vehicles. What happened to the ones the ninth assembly, the eighth
Of course,
assembly?
obviously they went away with them.
They went away with them. This is the problem. It is not their property. This is a property of government. While you are in office, is what you're supposed to convey from point A to point B. Why should you be living and you carry everything with you? Then okay, no problem.
We
Is
even
it-
have the furnishings too. They also
Yes.
went away with them.
Yeah.
So another money has been budgeted. That's what they said, that the 70 billion will actually take care of some of these issues for them, infrastructural deficit that they found in place. For instance, their furnishing, they said the ninth assembly work members went away with their furnishings.
Well, are you surprised that Nigerian workers are not happy? We shouldn't be surprised because right before you, these things are happening. There are events are unfolding before you. They are just appropriate. All they care is about their comfort. We are looking at, okay, you remove the fuel subsidy. What are the palliatives in place? What measures do you put in place? Nothing. You quickly came up with this one, say you are going to.
Obviously, the
They
president
didn't
put
have
the
anything
cart
planned.
before the horse,
Yes.
which is supposed to be the other one.
Yes.
Now, you talk about minimum wage, maximum wage. Many people some experts don't also share your opinion. They have the opinion that if increasing workers' wage this time around will also contribute to hyperinflation in the economy.
Well, that is the opinion. But let's even look
But
at
what is your view on that?
my view on that. Yeah, to some extent, yes, it would. There's no doubt about that. But in a situation where we are now surrounded with issues like this, you are, of course, right now they are still on the neck to stop them from increasing the tariff electricity hike on tariff hike
Yes,
on electricity. They are still on that. Then you look at now, go to the market. You just one needed just to visit the market to see what's going on there now. Prices of items have already jumped more than 50%, even in the last 1 week. Because the way they see, well, the moment they get information, something like this is going to happen, automatically it will trigger something in them. The man in transportation will tell you how much. Of course, look at the
Goods
fuel.
too.
No, look at the fuel now. We started with 500, then it has gone to 680 or thereabout. This is the problem. And when you ask them, they say it's market forces.
Yes.
It is laughable. Okay, it is good that we deregulate even the sector. It is all good. But at least if you're going to do it, what measures did you put in place? Concrete measures. Did you have in place? Nothing, absolutely nothing. So for the man in the street, or the middle level or the lower cadre workers in the civil service, many of them are not coming to work again. I ran now that they have a kind of a system now where they rotate when the days they come and the days they don't come, just to help them, at least cut down on cost.
Yeah, of course.
So it is very, very unfortunate that at this point in time we'll be grappling with issues like this, and it's not really fun.
No, Kingsley, but my worry is that is it not worrisome that energy, that is the pivot of economic development, is now allowed to slide downhill, given the present scenario now in Nigeria? A liter of fuel is that is from NNPC is NNPCL
Yes.
is 617
So yeah,
naira.
Yes.
617
Yes,
naira per
yes,
liter.
yes.
And we have NEC on the other hand also threatening to increase its rate, its tariff by about 40%. And this forms energy is the pivot of economic development. And in Nigeria that is begging for manufacturers to so that they can have more exports to have foreign currency, and is allowing this energy sector to go downhill. I mean, don't you think that it portends woes for this country? in the long run?
One
Not
expected.
even in the long run, in the short run.
Yes, one of the things that people expected from the president was that they were expecting that once he takes over, he will address the issue of power. These things has to come in phases. You look at the issue of power, address it, because obviously you are going to remove this subsidy. But it is important to fix all those things because they have.
No, but many others, because I've listened to experts, they said that no, the fact is the responsibility of the government to provide for most of the things for the populace, for the citizens.
Which of course
So
is
why
true.
won't you subsidize for the poor?
No. The truth is that all the while
And that even we talk about
first,
federal government keeps talking about scam, that the money is entering to some few pockets. Where is the responsibility of the government to go after this scam, to ensure to sanitize it so that there will not be scam? And those found wanting brought to
no, but we know that before the removal of the subsidy, some persons in government they will know because they are part and parcel of the whole thing. That's the problem.
And now why you are now making the poor to suffer for it?
It's always that is what we're looking at here because one expected we have agreed if subsidy must go. It has not profited us anything. It has to go. We agree. But then we expected that the first thing you will do is address the core issues so that when you remove the subsidy, people will not be felt. It won't even be much because we know at the end of the day, water will find its level. There will be other private sector players that will enter the sector. Apart from Dangote, others will come. They have issued a lot of licenses, for this construction of refineries. We know in the long run the prices of these things will crash. But before then, look at what you should do to make sure that the man in the street or the average person doesn't actually get to feel all these things. But they are not doing it. They are not even interested. What we are seeing is money moving in Ghana most goods. Moving 70 billion for these people. You say you are doing furniture allowance and all those. It is crazy. It's the height of irresponsibility on the part of this government because workers expected that their interests will first be protected. And let us also hold him by what he said when he was campaigning about protecting the interests of workers. Let us hold him by his word. This is the time for him to implement those things he was saying he will do. I don't know if you're getting me.
Yeah, I'm getting you. Of course, talking about what the president says he will do. Recently, the federal government also declared an emergency on the food sector. How is the president going to achieve this when insecurity is still the order of the day? Farmers still cannot access their farms.
This is a question actually I wanted to even put out. Like, if you want to address the issue of food security, first of all, you have to take care of the bandits that are letting people in their farms. That's the first thing first.
But the few farmers are allowed access because they are paying taxes to these bandits.
It's not enough. These bandits, they don't really the way they are. Today they cooperate with you. Tomorrow they come up with another demand. The truth is that if you check between 2015 and this 2022, you look at the number of casualties in all this madness, it's quite alarming.
Yes,
no matter the agreement they have with the bandits to allow them to come to their farms, there's no guarantee that their life may not be lost there. So we expected that this president, when you come on board, if you must address the issue of food security, you must tackle insurgency headlong. Mobilize troops. They know what to do. Mobilize them, tackle it headlong. Then at least that way people can rest assured that they will go farmers when they get to their farms, nobody will let them. They will come back intact, not anything happening to them. But they have not yet done that. Then again, I heard somewhere where they were also mentioning that those that are increasing the prices of their commodities, government will deal with them. How can you deal with them? Are you paying for their transportation to the farms? Are you the one moving the item from the farms to the shop where people will get to see them and buy? So the truth is that government should be seen to mean business. That is what here is. They should be seen to be all this playing politics with people's life, playing politics with people's destiny. At this point in time, it will not help anybody. And for those that have been hired to maybe speak on the behalf that all will be well, all will be well, let them again have a rethink. Let them have a rethink. This government should, first of all, make sure that the palliative, what is 8,000? What is, even in a week, your transport is more than 8,000 now.
Yes, of
In
course.
a week, it's more than 8,000.
It's more than
And this is
8,000.
what you want to give households in a month. It's laughable, honestly. It is very, very laughable.
It's very, very laughable. On that note, we want to go on a break, the halftime of the program. Don't forget, we are coming back and we are going to be seeing more of the inside stories when we come back. Don't go away. Just stay tuned.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
The program is Money Radio on Leadership Television, where we discuss, we review inside and front page stories on national economy, a weekly business paper. My name is Winifred Ubebo, and of course, as usual on the program, I always have the editor in tow to analyze some of the stories. Kingsley Ali, thank you so much once again. Now, just before we go back to the main story, let's see some of the inside pages on national economy. And of course, it's interesting that we have a naira and dollar exchange rate, the boss on the cover just beneath the masthead of national economy. We have US dollar 785.935 naira to a dollar, and is selling at 786.35 naira to a dollar. That is just what we can take. And of course, I know it should be higher than that now. From the cover, we are saying the page 3 of the paper, the editorial. Like I've always said, the editorial is the pulse of the paper. What is the stand? The stand today is towards economic progress, the case for raising Nigeria's minimum wage. Towards economic progress, the case for raising Nigeria's minimum wage. However, some experts say raising minimum wage will also contribute to the rising inflation we have in the country today. For more on this, just log on to the website of Leadership National Economy, www.nationaleconomy.com. From page 3, we move over to page 5. Page 5 stories how Nigeria can bridge infrastructure gap. How Nigeria can bridge infrastructure gap. We have FCCPC, the list non-compliant digital loan apps. These are stories on the inside pages. Data protection compliance. Banks, telcos, others get 6 months to register. Data protection compliance. Banks, telcos, others get 6 months to register. From page 5, we are moving on to the human resource page of national economy, and that is page 7. Page 7 says how to increase your employees' productivity. Increasing employee productivity. A quote there says, productivity rich teamwork does not happen by accident. You and your team will have to make an effort to become an effective team. For more on that, you just have to log on to the website of national economy, or if you are within the country, you can get a copy because it's so rich, increasing employee productivity is for every manager. From page 7, we are looking at page 10. Page 10 says, is an opinion actually. Is Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's time to laugh? What is he going to laugh about? Of course, you have to see this and log in for more. It's in the end, ironically, some of the same individuals who had vehemently opposed the subsidy removal under Jonathan were now echoing the government's call for support and understanding. In the end, it was a tale of two leaders, two policies, and two moments in Nigeria's history. And as the nation stood at another crossroads, it was up to the people to decide whether it was indeed Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's time to laugh. That is a tip of that opinion. You will also have to read more on that to see what the opinion is all about. From that page, from page 10, we move over to page 12 of national economy, and where we have Nigerian economy. Nigerian economy today is on potential of new frontiers for Nigeria's cashew industry. Potential of new frontiers for Nigeria's cashew industry. And beneath it, we have fiscal policy, the government's role in business and efficiency. The government's role in business and efficiency. That is the Nigerian economy and fiscal policy page. From that page 12, we move over to page 16. And that is companies, stories on companies. Okay, we move over to companies and markets page. WAPA rebrands waste management practice. 9 mobile trains Kano entrepreneurs on nurturing customer loyalty. From that, we just move over to the page 18, where we have technology page. Technology page today is on achieving 2030 SDGs agenda through cybersecurity. Achieving 2030 SDGs agenda through cybersecurity. Government is trying to safeguard Nigeria's cyber security space by amending the Cyber Crimes Prohibition Prevention Act 2015. From page 17, we are looking at page 18 now, and page 18 is another opinion. Monthly 8,000 naira cash transfer, a movement without motion. Monthly 8,000 naira cash transfer, a movement without motion. If Tinubu fails to turn things around quickly, there will most likely be a crisis of expectations and a feeling of another hope betrayed, with snowballing effects. From that opinion, we move over to back page of the paper. Of course, just before we move over to the back page of the paper, we have page 20, states and politics. In states and politics, we have OPC urges Tinubu to stop Disco's plan to increase electricity tariffs. OPC urges Tinubu to stop Disco's plan to increase electricity tariffs. That is all we can take as we move over to the back page of the paper. The analyst. The back page says how criminals transfer funds to evade arrest. How criminals transfer funds to evade arrest. That is the analyst guest column page this week on national economy. For more on that stories, you log on to the website www.nationaleconomy.com. Now back to the headline story. Kingsley, so what should we do? Will it be out of place, or will it be considered weakness if the president should reassign or reevaluate his decisions taken so far?
It's not. It should actually be counted as strength, because the decisions are not favorable to anybody. There are a lot of errors in that decision. I don't even know how he woke up one morning and came up with it in the first place. So number one, we agree that the 8,000 monthly stipend for the next 6 months is utter rubbish.
Yes.
It will not do.
And then for a family, if a family has at least, maybe let's just say family of 5 or 7.
That is not money. what a week alone, you spend more than 88,000 on
8,000.
transportation. Not to talk of a man with
Monthly.
family, monthly. Maybe you have 2, 3 children, 4 children, or even 2, or even 1 plus you. It's just not making sense. That's the truth.
Now, how do you think families are faring right now, given this economic situation or the harsh realities of that?
They are feeling the pinch. They are feeling because definitely every day you wake up, you want to go and find the daily bread for the household. So you pay transport, and when you come back, also you have to make sure you put food on the table. When you visit the next shop, there prices of all these things have already gone up, and you don't expect him to go and steal. So this is where government has to really do something very drastic, to avoid any form of unrest, because right now tempers are really flaring.
Tempers are flaring.
That's it.
Now, there's another thing many people are also saying that the MBS statistics or statistics of ranking of indices that is actually the government, the official rate that with things on ground, the figures are actually higher than what MBS is giving out. Do you subscribe to that?
Well, government always will find a way of trying to maneuver things.
Yes.
The truth is that if we want to find out the reality on ground, let's just go to the market. They also go to the same market. Let them go and price food items and find out how much they are going selling now. So it's not even about figures, because the man in the street doesn't understand all these figures.
Yes, figures that you're banding about.
72 points, 25 points. They don't understand it. All they want is the prices of this thing has fallen. It has crashed. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
So that's what they just, these things, they just weigh these things on Naira and Kobo. How much is this yesterday? How much is it today? That's the truth. So let them not even try to gerrymander over this one or play politics. Government has to really wake up, do the needful, especially in addressing workers' concern.
All right, thank you so much. Now, just before we go, I also want to just try one or two opinion on this story, how Nigeria can bridge infrastructure gap. It's an interesting story, and of course, everyone wants to read it.
Yeah.
How Nigeria, though it's a new story, it says how Nigeria can bridge infrastructure gap. How can Nigeria bridge infrastructure gap? It has borrowed more. I think during the last administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, it borrowed. Now Nigeria is indebted to the tune of about 9.9 trillion naira, because the president said it was building infrastructure.
Yes.
So,
the thing is that to make sure these things are moving and working, ensure power supply, effective power supply is necessary at this point in time. That is very, very important. And then maybe, that's maybe also for a good thing. Just last week, this electric motor vehicle document or policy, it has entered the last phase of review, before ratification. So that the idea is that very shortly, it is possible that you have electric cars everywhere. You also have those of them that are powered, gas powered, So that way, it will also help to cushion the effect of all these rising petrol prices now. And they are working out a template where it is possible that you can also take a small loan, get this vehicle, and then the payment period will be spread over a period of 10 years or maybe 15 years. But monthly you drop some stipend, but that way again it will save us costs in the first instance. So I think it is important that government has to look at one issue of power supply, and then good road networks. Good road network is very, very important here, because when you ask the commuter, they say go and drive through that road and see, because by the time they finish, they will tell you their shock absorber, many problems. The vehicle will just enter one workshop where they'll be working on them. So government has to really wake up at this point in time, fix the issue of power, address major concerns around that sector. It is very, very important. If we can get it right today, it will also help to crash the cost of production.
Yes.
Yeah, because right now, because you don't have good roads, so it means logistics wise, it is not good. It's not cherry news. Because when you finish the cost of transportation from point A to point B, these things will add to the cost of the product. So if government can attend to these issues, then of course the gap will be closed.
Gap will be closed.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. Now, just before we go, saving poultry industry from collapse.
Yes.
So it's on page 22 of national economy. How are you going to save poultry industry from collapse, given the fact that the price of poultry feeds keeps skyrocketing every day?
Yes. I think also the government should also
And I
look at,
understand it's imported too.
there is imported. But the good thing is that, when you go to some farms like Obasanjo farm, these things, they have every equipment on ground. They use the manufacture their feed and everything.
Okay.
So what they should also do is look at these poultry farmers and see how they can also, fund them, give them soft loans to help them. Because if they can set up here without necessarily importing all these machines
Feed.
for importing the feed, importing practically everything they need, the price of these things will definitely come down. The main concern is that when they tell you how much they are using to import these things, by the time they bring it, send it to the farm, it will go up. So they need soft loans to help them, and then set up here, and then also see how you can make things easier for them. Once it is done, these birds are not reared in Holland. It is in this country.
So one keeps wondering why
I don't
it's
know.
in the increase.
It doesn't make sense at all.
Once upon a time, a dozen of egg was about how much? 25 naira, 30 naira.
Yeah.
And we've seen it rose. We now had 500 naira just 2 years, less than 2 years ago last year. It was about 500, 450 naira.
Now it has gone up.
Exactly.
It has gone up.
Have
It has gone up, and the eggs, it's not as though they import the eggs as well.
That's what
It's in the farms that they are laid.
Exactly.
So once it enters the shop, they will tell you story A and story B.
Yes.
If most of them can have their plants in the factory where they can manufacture this.
But do you think that in what you just pointed out, that are we not also our own enemies? Do you think that many Nigerians are also exploiting the situation to their
That is what they did during the former President Buhari's regime. Buhari thought he was helping farmers. He didn't know he was just empowering people to exploit others.
Yes.
So this also, in a way, these farmers also are our own enemies.
Yes.
But right now, their argument is that they can't go to the farms. That is the argument. So tackle the issue of insecurity and all those insurgency. Let us see what will happen. So this president has to release it up. Right now, I feel he's sleeping.
Okay.
He's sleeping. Maybe he has not realized yet that he's in charge.
I hope he hears that when he wakes up. Thank you so much, Kingsley, for your thoughts on today's Morning Radio. Is a program every Monday where we analyze and discuss the front page and leading stories of national economy, a weekly newspaper, and of course, it's publication of Leadership Media Group. Well, viewers, this is where we end today's program. Don't forget, same time next week is also another appointment. I'm Winifred Ugbebo. Here is wishing you a beautiful week ahead. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.